With the NBA draft getting closer and closer, there's one thing that I can guarantee. We're going to see more and more forwards and centers that are able to handle the ball. From the likes of Kristaps Porzingis, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis, they have transformed the game of basketball. And in the 2021 draft, we are likely getting a new version of the point forward, in Sandro Mamukelashvili. But Sandro's rise to stardom is unique and as different when being compared to any player. So let's talk about his journey, his scouting report, and what his expectations and player comparisons should be. Originally, Sandro was born in New York, but within a couple of months his family would move to the country of Georgia, situated near Russia and Turkey. Now, Georgia isn't the biggest country in the world, so when a professional athlete is able to make it in the professional landscape, these athletes are sought upon to give advice to up-and-comers. For Sandro, this was Zaza Pachulia. Zaza was able to have a successful career being a role player, and Sandro mentioned just how helpful Zaza has been to him, talking with him multiple times when needing advice. But to truly talk about Sandro's upbringing, the first real big step was his grandmother, because after all, it was his grandmother who got Sandro into the love of basketball. Sandro's grandmother, Ira, was a very accomplished basketball player. She was the captain of the Germans basketball team, and despite passing away at an early age for Sandro, he recognized how much she helped him. He would look at the pictures of her playing basketball, and he would remember all that she taught him, because Sandro knew one thing for sure at this early of an age. He wanted to make it in the NBA. His parents though, especially his father, didn't have the same viewpoint at this time. You see, the thing is, Sandro's father was extremely against Sandro placing all his marbles in basketball. He was extremely focused on Sandro getting good grades in school and getting somewhere through an education. However, the first signaling change that Sandro noticed from his father was when Sandro was called up to the Georgian U16 and U18 national team, when he was only 13. At this moment, Sandro's father recognized that his son had a talent in this game, and he told him, "Look, you have two options from here. You should decide right now. You could stick to basketball and study hard and have some disadvantages at school, or you will have fun with basketball and study hard to go to college." Sandro picked the first option, because the next step was that he got noticed by Italian clubs, as he was playing for the Georgian national team. At first, when Sandro moved to Italy to play basketball, he mentioned just how rough the transition was. He noted how he didn't even understand the language of the country. But as a year passed by, he started to adjust nicely, both with his play and understanding. He noticed that in Italy he was able to physically and mentally improve, while also getting faster, shooting, and handling the ball better. All this improvement that Sandro was making just happened to get the attention of head coach Kevin Boyle of Mount Verde Academy. It was during a Nike Skill Academy workout that Sandro caught Kevin's eye, and from there, it was full in on Sandro. Kevin even mentioned that Sandro would be an automatic first round pick as his offensive game continues to improve. So after Sandro moved to the United States and played for Mount Verde Academy, we are now here at this present day with Sandro playing for the Seton Hall Pirates. So let's take a look at the scouting report. Despite Seton Hall struggling a bit throughout the season, Sandro has not, being a very consistent and demanding presence on this roster, with averages of 17.6 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. His ability to handle the ball is truly unique, giving him a matchup advantage around the perimeter, when being guarded by opposing forwards and centers. And this is something that you don't see that often, but more importantly, one of the most important aspects to his game is that he isn't out of control when driving towards the rim. After beating his defender with his dribble, Sandro loves to use a Euro step or spin move to get to the paint and score, but he knows when to use such moves, and his ability to stay posed on the offensive end is something that's going to be very useful as he enters the NBA this upcoming offseason. But all the hype with Sandro is through his dribbling, but this is only just one side to his game. Sandro has become a very good shooter, who you can't leave open from the perimeter, and at the same time, he can go down low and give you the work, with an arrangement of different post moves. So while Sandro does have his strengths, there are also some weaknesses to his game, and we gotta talk about it. For one, Sandro isn't the most athletic player in the world, and with the NBA becoming more and more reliant on players being extremely athletic, there is some pause for caution. And on a similar topic at hand, there are some questions if Sandro will be able to guard on the defensive end, if he's pulled out from the paint. But with this being said, I believe that Sandro is able to overcome his lack of athleticism with his craftiness and his all-around offensive game. And again, this isn't something that you usually see from most prospects. So now that we have his scouting report, let's take a look at some potential player comparisons and expectations. As the title said it, Kristaps would honestly be the first player that comes to mind, due to his ability to move around the floor. But I don't think he'd be able to reach this level, because there is a couple of physical differences. Kristaps for one is sneaky athletic, and he's also 7'3", with Sandro only being 6'11". As a result, I believe a more realistic comparison would be a poor man's version of Nikola Jokic. Why do I say this? Jokic has proven to be a unique center in this league, with his ability to handle the ball and his insane vision. But the one area that has held him back in the minds of most fans and analysts has been on the defensive end, where he's been spotty at best. This type of description with Nikola is pretty much exactly the same with Sandro. Good playmaker and vision with the ball in his hands, and can spread the floor, but not exactly the best defender. So in all honesty, Sandro's success in the NBA is really dependent upon where he goes to. He is currently being projected as mid to late second round pick, which is also similar to Jokic. If he goes somewhere where winning isn't prioritized and is given the chance to play as the season goes on, he can prove to be a draft gem, just like how Nikola Jokic was. But if not, this is where it can get tricky. My personal belief is that Sandro will be a nice role player in this league, with his best seasons being averages of like 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists a night. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, peace.